Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make DIY face powder with antioxidants and moisture in it. The first thing I'm going to be doing is using this little container that my powder puffs were in, and you'll see later in the video I didn't realize it actually had a little hole in the bottom, so I do go back and have to end up putting it in a jar. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add cornstarch to our bowl. And I was running a little bit low, but I had just enough to make some powder. And this powder goes a long way, so you don't have to make a lot of it at a time unless you just want to. Now the next thing I'm going to be adding, and this is for color, is cocoa powder. And you can add as much or as little as you need depending on the color of your complexion. So for me, I am going to be adding in just a little bit at a time and stirring it around, and then checking it to see if it's dark enough for my skin tone. And I'm using a whisk. I find that this just blends it better, and it helps the powder to reduce down a little bit finer. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon, and the reason I do this is, for one, it does darken the powder a little bit, but two, cinnamon is a really nice antioxidant. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to rub a little bit into my skin to see if it's dark enough or if I need to add any more cocoa powder. And to me it seemed a little bit on the light side even after I rubbed it in, so I'm going to darken it up a little bit. And I'm adding one more little spoon of the cocoa powder, and I think that's going to do it. Now you will have to mix this for a minute or so just because you want it to be really mixed well. And that is a lot better, so I'm finished mixing my color. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm using a straight pen to poke this omega-6 pill. And I did sanitize the pen first with alcohol. And what I'm doing is just poking the end of it, and I'm going to be squeezing about 3 drops into my powder. And omega-3s are great for your skin. And this little red pill right here, this is going to be messy. This is Lycopene, and it is a very powerful antioxidant. So I'm doing the same thing, poking a hole. I'm trying to squeeze the drops into the bowl, but this stuff is really thick. And so I do end up having to go in and just put it on a spoon and sort of mix it in that way. But this will dye your fingers red until you get them washed. And I'm just doing, I think it was 2 drops of this, or I should say blobs. You can see how red it is. It almost looks like blood. So what you want to do now is, after you have your omega-3s and your lycopene in, you want to mix this with your hands. And the reason for this is because those are going to grab onto that powder and try to just stay in these little balls, and you want that mixed in. So you're really going to reach in there, find those little balls, and just start working them out with your hands and mixing everything together really, really well. Once that's done, I'm going to give it another whisk. And then after that, it's time to put it in our container. And that's it. This stuff is so easy to make. And if you're in a pinch and you run out of your powder, or you've lost your makeup or something, and you have these ingredients in your pantry, because you can make this without the omega-3 and without the lycopene capsules. You don't need those. You can just make it like a regular powder without adding that extra stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you try this tutorial, because I use this powder all the time and it is so good. And that's it. And you can use a powder puff with it, or you can use a brush. And it goes on really nicely. It does not leave a white cast as long as you've got your color correct. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.